This is the week that Trump um had had revealed all, and what I mean by that is that the former squatter Donald Trump has told some pretty big hefty lies over the 4 years that he was squatting in the White House. Now, one of the biggest lies that is now clear came the day after his sycophantic inbreds had incited that Klan insurrection last year. So on January 7th of 2021, he basically told one of the biggest lies that to his about his sycophants assaulting the Capitol. On January 6th, as law enforcement fought valiantly against an armed mob of rioters and traitors attacking the Capitol, Trump had remained in the White House, silent in the face of repeated efforts by advisors, family members, and sycophants who pleaded with him to try to call a halt to the violence. The very next day, in a videotaped address, he said finally that he was outraged by the heinous attack on the Capitol. Yeah, bullshit. America, America is and must always be a nation of law and order, which Trump doesn't know anything about law and order because he broke that at every turn. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy, like you know what that is, because you tried to destroy democracy at every chance you got. And to those who engage in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. Yeah, so that means you, Trump, you don't represent our country because of the violence and destruction you caused. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. Yes, Trump, you will pay for breaking the law. Basically, Trump did not mean what he said, as he made clear last week. Speaking at a Klein rally in Conroe, Texas, he told his inbred sycophants, "If I run for squatter in 2024 and cheat to win, we will treat those people from January 6th fairly." No, we won't. We will treat them fairly, and if it requires pardons, we'll give them pardons because they're being treated unfairly. The people that participated in that Klan insurrection do not deserve pardons; they deserve jail time, and they should be serving life in prison. So Trump's words no longer have quite the shock value that they once had. His Klan rallies don't command live coverage on major cable networks like they did before, but he's been banned from Twitter, and his number-ending statements lack the power that they once might have had. It can be easy to dismiss his rantings as a raving lunatic, but it would be foolhardily to ignore what he is saying or thinking. Now, if Trump were spent force in politics, what he says now would matter less. But he wants to run for squatter again and has a $122 million political bank account at his disposal to carry him forward. He may have lost some support among some who think of themselves as Republicans, but he still holds a grip on the Republican Party. Now, if the 2024 primaries were held today, it's difficult to imagine what kind of role he would have, and him not rolling over any of the challengers. His hold on the GOP was never more obvious than it was on Friday, when the Republican National Committee voted to censor Representatives Liz Cheney from Wyoming and Adam Kinzinger from Illinois for their work on the House committee investigating the January 6th Klan insurrection. The censure resolution described the two Republicans as participating in a Democrat-led persecution of ordinary citizens, engaged what we call an illegitimate political discourse. The former squatter still feels he was unfairly denied a second term, which he wasn't. That he is the victim of massive fraud, despite the lack of evidence. What he is saying now provides a preview of how he might try to use his powers if he was restored back to squatting in the Oval Office. The Texas Klan rally was just one event in a week in which the former squatter gave America a wide open look at what has long been assumed, that his false claims of a stolen election were much more than the complaints of him being a sore loser. His goal all along was to do more than disrupt the process of certifying President Biden's victory. He wanted to find a way to overturn the results of the election. The day after his Texas Klan rally, Trump issued a statement from his Destroy America PAC. He took note of discussions underway in Congress to amend the Electoral Count of 1887, the law that governed how the then Vice Squatter Mike Pence handled his responsibilities as a presiding officer at the January 6th joint session of Congress that reviewed and ratified the Electoral College counts from the states. Now, Trump had repeatedly implored Pence to block certification of Biden's victory, and Pence told Trump he did not have the power to do so. But even at that Klan rally preceding the assault on the Capitol, Trump was still urging Pence to do what Pence said he could not do. Talk of amending the act that governed those proceedings has apparently outraged the former squatter, and here is his statement from last Sunday. If the vice squatter Mike Pence had absolutely no right to change the presidential election results in the Senate, despite fraud and many other irregularities, which, despite that there was no evidence to it, how come the Democrats and Rhino Republicans, meaning Republican in name only, like Senator Susan Collins of Maine, are desperately trying to pass legislation that would not allow the vice squatter to change the results of the election. Actually, what they're saying is that Mike Pence did have the right to change the outcome. No, he did not. And then now want to take that right away. He never had any right to do so. Unfortunately, he didn't exercise that power. He could have overturned the election. See, no, he could not have, because for one, that would have been breaking the law. And so there. The last line of the statement is as blatant as Trump has been about his true intentions to overturn a fair election, but it was written in such a matter-of-fact way that many who read it would give a ho-hum. There he goes again reaction. Of course he wanted to overturn the election, a reader might say, so what's new? It's time to fucking move on. And this is exactly the danger that continues to exist in our America. A weariness with all of it, a desire to put those difficult moments from early 2021 in the rearview mirror. Now, Pence, however, was not ready to ignore Trump's wild claim. Speaking Friday at a gathering of the Federalist Society in Florida, Pence rebuked the former squatter as he called January 6th a dark day in the history of our capital. And this week, our former squatter said that I had the right to overturn the election. Pence said that the former squatter Trump is wrong. I had no right to overturn that election. And Friday marked the day in which future battle lines were being drawn inside the Republican Party, with the handful of elected officials like Senator Mitt Romney from Utah standing up for Cheney and Kinzinger, while so many others, symbolized by the RNC, follow along Trump's dangerous path. Other revelations during the past week provided additional reminders of just how serious Trump is. His advisors, and especially some of the conspiracy theorists trying to influence him, were about trying to delay, disrupt, and possibly overturn the election through extraordinary use of government power, and reminders too of the stakes ahead. New York Times reported that weeks after the election, Trump asked lawyer and advisor Rudy Kaludi to check with the Department of Homeland Security to see if the government could legally take possession of voting machines in some key states. Now, Kaludi was told DHS lacked such authority, and Trump reportedly had raised the issue of seizing voting machines with then Attorney General William Barr, who, according to the Times, also told Trump that the Justice Department had no such authority, nor that there was any evidence of a crime in the conduct of this election. The Post reported on efforts by Trump's outside sycophants who prepared a memo calling on Trump to use the powers of the National Security Agency and the Defense Department to go through raw intelligence with the help of showing that foreign powers had tampered with election results. Now, proof of foreign interference would support next steps to defend the Constitution in a manner superior to the current civilian-only judicial remedies, the memo stated. According to the Post's reporting, the words "in a manner superior to the courts" is a chilling suggestion that the use of extrajudicial powers. The House committee investigating the events surrounding what happened on January 6th continues to gather evidence, including documents from Trump's squatting in the White House, and they will hold a public hearing later this year and issue a report after that. Expect more revelations in the months ahead. Now, the belief that because it didn't happen, it can't happen remains strong. Yet Trump continues to reveal himself, his true motives, and perhaps what he could do again if he were again to become squatter. And no one should be surprised by what he's going to try to do. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. And if you want to support my work even further, go to the About section on my YouTube channel. I have a Patreon link there, so if you want to support my work, you can donate. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be back in another hour or two to post up another one. So, yep.